My love for nature spans back to as a child. I spent a lot of time in the outdoors working on my uncle's farm, hunting and fishing. And so it was a natural fit for me to want a career in a industry that actually uses natural resources in a responsible way to connect the water, the land, the wildlife together and make sure that we steward those resources for the long term. And therefore we need to cherish those resources in order to protect humanity and all the critters that roam the earth, because we're all connected here. Nature and the earth provides all the essential things that we need as human beings. It starts with the very oxygen that we breathe, and it starts with photosynthesis, where trees take in vast amounts of carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen. In fact, they produce enough oxygen with one mature tree that can supply the annual oxygen requirements for humans. It also provides many raw resources in terms of raw materials through wood, other types of plants, foods, medicines, water cycling. It's really a storehouse of resources that we all need to thrive. It's where I spend all of my free time when I'm not at work, out in nature, and I want to make sure that we're protecting these places, but yet also recognize the role that we as manufacturers have in making sure those places are safeguarded.
We were founded in the 1800s in the UK, actually, by an entrepreneur who then came over here and started buying lumber. And so built ourselves over the years into a sort of Canadian conglomerate in a whole bunch of industries, actually. And then focused around what we call uncoated free sheet, which is, what you put through your printer, essentially, in the office, plus all sorts of other uses. And then in 2007, we did a transaction with the Weyerhaeuser company where we joined the two businesses together. And we've been going ever since. And then in November 21, of course, we were delighted to sell to Jackson Wijaya and his Paper Excellence business. Jackson was attracted by the business. I think he kind of liked the culture, liked the markets we were in. He liked what we did, and he understood the value of our sustainability commitment. Domtar having the sustainability reputation in the space was and will remain an enormous advantage. And of course, since then, we've rebranded both the Resolute business and the Paper Excellence business. And now, of course, we find ourselves today kind of launching the whole program, which of course has his blessing. So it's an exciting day in that respect.
We are at a watershed moment in our sustainability journey. The integration of these three companies under the Domtar brand creates not just an opportunity, but a powerful platform for transformative action. Our strategy is truly global in scope, so it's fitting that we have this wide representation. While our new sustainability strategy focuses on metrics and targets for our North American operations, the three core pillars and objectives will serve as a foundation for our sister companies as they develop their own roadmaps. This unified approach allows us to leverage diverse perspectives, local expertise, and share resources across continents, multiplying our impact and accelerating progress toward our sustainability goals. It was a challenge, but at the same time was a perfect challenge because we learn a lot from each other. And this is what makes our company so different and special.
So we're about 14,000 people today as a combined enterprise. We have about 60 facilities across North America. So that includes everything from sawmills to distribution centers to large, very large pulp and paper mills across mostly the southeast and the east of Canada.
Domtar optimizes every part of the trees that we harvest, reducing waste and creating value throughout the process. Harvested trees, or what we call roundwood, are primarily processed into lumber, mainly for construction or renovation of houses, which preserves the carbon accumulated in the wood for decades to come. Processing a log at a sawmill generates byproducts, mainly wood chips, sawdust, shavings, and bark. The bark is used to generate energy, while the chips and other residues are used primarily to produce pulp and paper. For the little waste that is left, We identify beneficial use alternatives such as agricultural land spreading, thereby reducing material we need to send to landfills. We then take the chips and put them in what's called a digester. Think of it as a big pressure cooker where we add heat, steam, water, chemicals to help break those chips into very fine little fibers. We pull those wood fibers apart, which then we take and we wash and we subsequently bleach to make white paper. And then we take those fibers and we take them over to a paper machine where you'll actually see the things that most people are familiar with. We turn it into rolls of paper. And once we turn it into a big roll of paper, we then send it over to our converting plant and convert it down into meaningful products that people buy every day.
We run the business in a series of divisions. We have a paper and packaging business. A major product is the paper you put through your printer. So we're the largest manufacturer by a mile of that kind of product in North America. So that is making the uncoated free sheet business and the containerboard business. And then there's a whole raft of usage for uncoated free sheet. In the end, it gets made into a box, and when it gets delivered to your door, that's our kind of paper. In the lumber business, obviously we're making the lumber that will go into your house, literally wood glued together that will actually support a ceiling, which is almost as strong as steel. And obviously we make pulp, the kind of absorbent piece which goes into things like tissues and incontinence products and baby diapers. That's where that fits. So a whole raft of forest products.
Being a very natural resource intensive industry, we rely on forests as our primary raw material to make our forest products. So the importance of nature and the role it plays in our business activities is really fourfold. We're fully utilizing the full value that we bring in from that original tree, that we bring in from the forest. Trees are really the lungs of the planet. Secondly, in pulp and paper production, we use a lot of water to make our products, and therefore we need to make sure that the water resources are protected and cherished for the long term. Thirdly, we need raw materials to make our product. We need fiber, which comes from trees or wood, and if we protect our basic raw material wood in a sustainable way, we have raw material supply for the long term. And finally, why it's important to Domtar is, as a manufacturing business, we need talented people who want to work for our organization, who want to thrive in this organization, and therefore we have a responsibility to take care of the social and mental well-being of our employees. Many of our employees work for Domtar because they love the outdoors, and they know that we are involved and intersect with natural resources on a daily basis. Our employees, including myself, we like to camp, we like to hunt, we like to fish, we like to hike. We like to spend time out in the outdoors, and it's important that we take care of those places for our employees and our communities. And so we have these places where we can decompress after a long day's work and recharge our batteries to continue to be innovative and creative. So we want to make sure, again, we take care of those places.
The forest products industry supports over 33 million jobs worldwide, linking economic well-being to sustainable landscape stewardship. Our people and communities pillar emphasizes safety as a value, and we also need to build respectful partnerships with Indigenous communities, support volunteering, and foster an inclusive workplace. What makes our industry unique is this dual role. We depend on healthy forests for our business resilience, while simultaneously serving as their stewards. For companies beginning this journey, my advice is simple. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can, but commit to continuous improvement.
We're only on this planet for a very short space of time, and we have a duty to try and leave it better than we found it. So this industry has an extraordinary story to tell in terms of renewability, recyclability, and thereby, I would argue, sustainability.
Some people just think that they need to do something big. If they cannot do something big, they shouldn't do anything. But this is not true. We should do our piece of this major challenge, and if everyone is doing the same, everything is going to be right.